Hello, everybody. I'm Jason Barger. I'm an author, speaker, consultant, and creator of the Step Back from the Baggage Claim movement. And I am here with the great privilege of being at the Kelley School of Business at Indiana University. And yesterday we got to share about my book, Step Back from the Baggage Claim, and talk about how this relates to the business world. The new Business Leader edition has just come out in September of 2010. And I'm sitting here with Dr. Roberto Garcia. And good to be with you again.
Thank you. It's good to have you with us. It's good to have you sharing the message of Step Back from the Baggage Claim. As you know, I'm the co-director of the Supply Chain Global Management Academy, which is a very interesting and relevant program for MBA students who are interested in careers in international business and particularly in the area of global supply chain management. We have about 24 students at this time in our academy, and they're very interested in your message.
Well, and I got to be with him yesterday, and I was fired up at the spirit that your students are bringing into it and the way that they are thinking about not just what they want to learn, but how they hope to take those skills and impact the world. And so we were talking about this idea of stepping back from the baggage claim, this very frantic, everybody knows literally at that baggage claim when a crowded baggage claim and everybody's fighting to claim their bag. Mm-hmm. And how often we can rush in there and just try to claim what we think is ours, what we think we're entitled to. But what would it mean for us to step back from the baggage claim and maybe see a bigger picture? And in the business world, how that connects to us being able to be very purposeful about our mission, to be thinking about not just what we do, but why we do it, and then how we choose to move throughout the world.
How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I'm a strange guy, for one, and as you know, I spent 7 days living in 7 different airports without leaving the airport the entire time, sleeping on the floors and eating the rubbery chicken nuggets, and I was literally in the airports, and I was struck by the fact that the airport is a metaphor for our lives outside of the airport, a place in the world where there's so many different people going different directions with different agendas. And it's often this frantic pace where we're trying to get from point A to point B. And then literally at the baggage claim, that's where, when that buzzer goes off, which that thing, which for some reason we haven't come up with a better sound than that, everybody instinctively goes up and we form that human wall of entitlement so that nobody can actually see the bags. And we jockey back and forth, and everybody's very concerned about claiming their bag and their space, and that maybe I'm in more of a hurry than you are. And so as I watched this, literally in the airports for 24 hours a day in 7 different cities, I kept asking myself, what does this reveal about the way that we are choosing to move throughout the world together? How is it that we choose to handle the obstacles, delays, and cancellations in our life when things don't play out the way we hoped? What difference does it make when we choose to put a different spirit into motion in the world with the people that we're traveling with along our path?
A lot of what we do is very technical work. It's about finance, it's about marketing, it's about the high-powered business tools that we're trying to give to our students to prepare them for the work world. And sometimes in this, in the technical aspects, the complex aspects of business and everything that they need to know, we perhaps don't emphasize sufficiently that in order to get the things done, you have to get them done through people. And if you can't connect with people, if you can't understand their motivations, if you can't understand what drives them, if you can't understand what's important to them, then they will not be as effective. We will not be as effective as teachers, and they will not be as effective as future managers. And so that message to me when I read your book was very clear, that we need to remember this, that we need to keep this in mind. And so I felt an interest and an obligation to share this message with my students. Now, because we live in a very global and interconnected world, business world, and since my area is an international business, when we take the issue of dealing with people and getting things done through people into an international context, then relations are even more important, and people are much more sensitive because of cultural differences, as you know. So our students that are going to go out into the global interconnected world need to be hypersensitive
Yeah.
about their impact on other people. And so I think within that context, your message is even more important to them.
Yeah,
So-
and well, and traditionally we've talked about this phrase of soft skills, or emotional intelligence, those kinds of things that oftentimes we can think of as an add-on. That once we get through this baseline technical stuff, that then we can turn our attention to these things. And I think at least what I'm experiencing and what I'm seeing as what it might mean to be a 21st century leader is the fact that we're beginning to recognize that those quote-unquote soft skills are really just an important part of our skills, and are not an add-on, but a huge part of how we will be successful. I remember sitting with Howard Behar, who was the former president of Starbucks International, and him sharing with me that our success will not be defined by intricate business strategy alone, but by our ability as human beings to handle and deal with the obstacles, delays, and cancellations that come up along our path.
Yes.
So, what are you experiencing with students in terms of that, what you see to be the important attributes of a 21st century leader?
No, I think you're right on. I think it's the soft skills, what we call the soft skills,
Yeah.
that are really not so soft. They're actually hard to master and hard to understand because of the subtleties. What we call as those things are the differentiators for true leaders.
Yeah.
And so we definitely need to keep working on those. In the Supply Chain Global Management Academy,
Yep.
we are fortunate to have a group of almost 40 seasoned executives, many at the vice president level, many that have had global expatriate responsibilities,
Yep.
expatriate assignments
Yep.
in various parts of the world. And they come back often to interact with our students, to give their advice, and I'm constantly pleased and amazed that really the most valuable components of what they share with the students have to do with the people aspects,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
the messages in many different ways that your book covers, and those are the messages that we call the soft skills. So we're getting that, we're getting that, and I'm glad that we have these executives sharing that. But it's interesting that as these executives who have had very successful international business careers,
Yep.
that as they reflect on their careers, sometimes almost 40 years in the
Yep.
work world,
Yep.
that they think that it's so relevant, and they want to share that to the students. And I remember a conversation once with one of these executives, was also an alumnus of our program, once mentioned to our students, these hard skills, the finance, the accounting, the marketing that you're getting, it's all good stuff.
Yeah.
But when I look at the really difficult issues in my work life,
Yeah.
if I have a technical problem that involves finance, I have a lot of young people that are very smart and can handle those problems.
Right.
But the really difficult issues that I face are people issues.
Yep.
And I can't find very
Yep.
many people that can address those issues, solve those kinds of problems.
Yep.
So it's what we call the soft skills that they have to rely on, and they have to keep improving.
Yeah, no, I'm having the exact same experiences. Now I go around to different organizations and different of all different kinds, but either speaking with them or consulting with them to see that the greatest need that they have and the biggest obstacles and challenges that they're experiencing are not those technical things, because you're right, they can find people to do that, and oftentimes they have the people right within their organization that can do that stuff. But what they're struggling with is how do they stand with everybody around their metaphorical baggage claim?
Right.
How are they clear about the mission and vision of where they're trying to go?
Right.
Is everybody on board with that?
Yes.
And then can people interface and bring their gifts to life?
Yeah.
And what I've experienced now here at Kelley is that I see you guys grooming those students and helping to teach them holistically. And I thought maybe you could end just for a second here of talking about when a student here at Kelley is leaving then the doors. They've come in and they've gotten those technical skills, and they've experienced and gotten that base knowledge. But then when they leave these doors, you all are hoping that they go out and actually impact the world. What do you hope they look like when they come out on the other end?
You're absolutely right. The one thing I want to mention is that we get a lot of satisfaction of
Yep.
working with students, particularly in our academy for 2 full years,
Yeah.
and then sending them off at the beginning of their new work journey. We want them to understand that it is the beginning of a journey,
Yeah.
and there's still a lot of
Yeah.
learning to do. But what we hope is that, number one, that they will have an interesting, satisfying career that will allow them to pay off their student loans. Let's be clear, because it's a big investment to take 2 years of your life and spend all this money to get an MBA education today. So we want them to be successful and begin to get a return on their investment. But what we want them to be able to do is to continue using the knowledge and the training that we've exposed them to keep using that, and then to keep learning from their experiences, so that at some point they will make a true impact in the world. We are confident that they're going to do many good things for their companies, that
Yep.
they will help
Yep.
in the strategy process, that they will help deliver results,
Right,
and we see
right.
that very often, and we're very pleased when that happens. But we hope that at some point they will look back and say, what I got here at Kelley has really helped me to be a better person,
Yep.
a better leader,
Yep.
a better business person, and very importantly, a better global citizen, a
Yep.
citizen of the world that can move into different country environments and connect people and deliver, positive results on the way to doing a lot of good business. And then we hope that at some point they come back to share their career experiences with a new crop of students.
Yeah.
We're very
Yep.
pleased that we have that situation right now. We have many alums that are very happy to come back and connect with our students, but
Yep.
every student that we send out, we hope will take time, learn a lot, and come back and share their knowledge and their experiences with a new crop of students that are part of now the Kelley School of Business, Indiana University Alumni Network.
Great. Well, it's been a pleasure to be here at Kelley. Thank you for joining the Step Back from the Baggage Claim movement, and I hope you'll visit the Kelley School of Business online to learn more about what you guys are doing. And if you want to know more about Step Back from the Baggage Claim, you can visit stepbackfromthebaggageclaim.com. Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you, Jason.